Hi guys, welcome back to my XVS guide. Now I'm gonna review Samurai Chizuru. Is she worthy enough for you to get? Let's start from her passives. Her normal and brave shift form have exactly the same passives. I can say her passives are very good like other global exclusive like Will. First, she is a true double hand physical attacker and she has 300% true double hand attack and 280% attack. So about the same as Will. However, what's great is if you make her into X+2 and equip her with her own STMR, she gonna has 2250 static attack boost, which is very high. As a comparison, again, Will, who is premium, only have 1500 static attack boost when you equip him with his Trust Mastery Word and STMR and on X+2. And as a tech chainer, she gets super important 200% faster normal and elemental chain, 100% modifier cap. So you need to search another 100%. The only thing that she loses against Wilk is her killers. Like you know that Wilk has 100% on all killers and 200% on his favorite enemy. For Chizuru, she only has 200% killers against beast, insect, stone, and plant. Her physical evasion is also very good, 50% and 80% on X+3. Also 50% magic evasion, but maybe that's not that important. She gets 20% physical and magic mitigation buff that lasts forever versus insect, stone, beast, and plant enemy. It is good because you can stack it with normal mitigation, but maybe not that important since she is not a tank. So far, her passives are superb and nothing to complain about. But what about her abilities? Let's start from her normal form. She is a DPS and buffer in this form. For DPS, I can say that she is only able to deal damage to 4 types: beast, insect, plant, and stone. Like you can see that it deals 800 times, which is good but not extraordinary by any means. The good thing about these abilities are not the damage, but it is buff. She gets 250% killer's buff against these enemies. And since it lasts for 5 turns, you can use it for her Brave Shift Limit Burst. And if you have Mastermind Son, you know what you need to do. But even without him, she still gives 150% specific killers to all allies. Yes, I know there are already other global exclusive who are able to give 150% killers buff for this enemy's type. But remember, she is a flexible DPS too. So after buffing, she can help your team damage. Unlike, let's say, White Dragonling and Bulwark, whose damage are far below her. However, if you don't fight those enemies, then her damage on normal form are basically non-existent. She also has some useful buffs, same as Bulwark. She is able to imbue all allies with wind element and the same 45% wind damage boost. But she can imperil wind better. Others buff like stats break resist, stats buff are useful in some situations, so you don't need to bring dedicated support for the buff. But that's nothing extraordinary. One thing that catch my attention is she is able to remove elemental imperil anytime she wants. This is useful in a situation where the enemy has insane imperil and not following the imperil with immediate attack. For example, the most recent Gloomwind battle where it imperil 300% fire resist. In that situation, you can easily remove the imperil. And 150% wind resist buff is also pretty useful. She is also able to give AoE re-raise to all allies and nice MP recovery. I must say that this kind of ability is kinda niche today, but it seems to be useful for that class of will. Her normal attack grants 100% all type killers to all allies, but it only lasts for one turn, which means she cannot participate on the attack. This is useful when she doesn't have anything to do and waiting for her brave shift form. Her grandness is also pretty decent, 400% stats boost and nice side effect, especially 85% physical or magic mitigation. Okay, very good. Now, for the limit burst, I can say it is good, but maybe not that useful. First, it increases 30 times damage modifier for ability, and yeah, 100 times on maximum morale. Remember, on ability, not limit burst. This kind of boost is good if you have DPS who has multi-hit attack, okay, with 50% defense ignore. So for example, Graph, but many recent characters rely on limit burst. Therefore, this is probably a hint for the next global exclusive next month. Do know. But if you don't have characters like that, it is not that tempting to use this normal form limit burst. You only get 10% better killers than your abilities, okay, and accuracy is not that useful today since the meta is through double hand, who already have high accuracy. The ability modifier buff also only lasts for one turn. That's why I think it's probably better for her to deal damage instead of using this. So that's all for the normal form. Now let's move to the brave shift form. She can only stay in this form for 3 turns, so please don't use her normal form abilities in this form. Her DPS abilities are the same as Will. They chain with triple bolting strike, but they use MP instead of limit burst crystals. The damage modifier is inferior to Will abilities though. There are 3 abilities, but I think only 2 are useful. The first, dedicated Samurai Slash, is good to fill morale gauge and boost your attack. It also breaks 85% defense, which is perfectly acceptable if you don't have better breaker. The second is devastating Samurai Slash. It is kinda necessary if you don't have limit burst buffer in your party and very useful to fill your limit burst gauge. On X+2, by using this skill, it is very easy to use 2 of her brave shift limit burst on the 3 turns time limit. The funny thing is you want to use these abilities after you use your brave shift limit burst because they become tag chaining moves. Therefore, I think they are not fit to be set up. But yeah, whatever, it is what it is. There is one godly self buff you want to use before using your limit burst though. Spring Wind Blade. It is good because you can get 100% wind damage boost after 2 turns using this. It is bad because it only works for herself. Remember that Paladin Sylvie has about the same buff and works for all allies. So the rotation is basically like this. On first turn of her brave shift form, cast this Spring Wind Blade. On the second turn, use any of your bolting strike chain, depends on your need. If you need, let's say, limit burst damage buff and fill your limit burst, then use devastating Samurai Slash. If you need to break enemy defense, use dedicated Samurai Slash. And finally, the next turn, the last turn on the brave shift form, and the turn you get 100% wind damage boost, use your limit burst. Which is pretty great because first, you don't need to stack the damage. And the damage is pretty high, 350 times on non-class of will content and up to 600 times in class of will content. For comparison, Wilk need to stack his limit burst 2 times and fight against Dragon to get the same damage modifier. I know, okay, you may say, oh, there are better characters with better limit burst damage modifier, but remember, most of the characters require you to fight certain enemy. For Chizuru, you don't need to care about that. The most interesting aspect here is this limit burst being attack chaining attack, okay? That means she doesn't need anyone to reach maximum damage. She also has faster chain modifier cap, so yes, she can reach maximum damage faster, okay, if there is no one helping her. But I think you should bring partner, okay? However, since it is morale based attack, Warrior of Light limit burst damage boost won't work. From what I know, only Paladin Sylvie who is able to increase her limit burst damage modifier, and it is only 10 times on non-class of will situation, so it's kind of small but still useful because the LB consists of 2 attacks. One most important thing is only use this when you want to end the battle, because you will be back to normal form and you lose 100% win boost from your Grandest, okay, assuming you use this on the 3rd turn of your Brave Shift. That's all for abilities. Now let's talk about partner. Chizuru is flexible, but I can say her main element is wind, because she has 100% wind damage boost, which is pretty good at today's standard. That's why you want to boost wind damage output. So it is pretty simple. We just got lots of wind attackers from previous week, okay? Emperor Palamecia is very good because he has the best wind Imperial in the game. Beast King Crocodile is powerful tank and DPS, and also good partner because he can break enemy attack magic, something that she cannot do. For Faris Neovision, she is nice, 25% wind damage, but there is better field effect for Chizuru. For buffer, the best is Paladin Sylvie, because she can give you limit burst damage modifier buff. However, Paladin Sylvie only able to grant 300% limit burst buff to one character. So yeah, for wind element, you may want to use Mermaid Frisia. Okay, but again, Paladin Sylvie able to imbue and grant 100% damage boost for lightning and earth element. So yes, it's good to take advantage of the flexibility of Samurai Chizuru. Even when her limit burst is self-chaining move, you still want to bring chaining partner for her. I can say the best is Stormseeker Esther because of her 100% limit burst damage field. Next to Esther, there is Wilk, who is also able to become Breaker. That's all about partner. My conclusion for Samurai Chizuru. Samurai Chizuru, without a doubt, is a powerful DPS. Based on my calculations, is even better than Wilk, who is premium. Better DPS, okay? However, I still prefer Wilk and Esther than her. The reason is simple. Because her normal form is, sorry, kinda niche. If you need AoE killer buffs for specific types, then yes, it's great, okay? But let's say you fight against the enemy that she cannot buff your party, then her normal form is kinda useless. And there is time limit for Brave Shift form. Compare it to Esther, who has amazing damage and limit burst damage field effect. You can use it on almost all situations. Or Will, who is able to become good breaker and 90% defense break. Again, useful on almost all situations. Don't get me wrong here, okay? Samurai Chizuru is definitely 10 out of 10. But Esther and Will are simply better units overall. Same for Liberta and Ignitos. I know their damage is below Samurai Chizuru, but there is something that makes me prefer them. Okay, maybe it is subjective, but yeah, I believe they are better units overall. For Trust Master Reward, I can say it is great. 25% all killers. It is equal to, let's say, 50% individual killer when you fight against an enemy with dual type, because let's say, yeah, you fight against beast and insect type. If you equip 50% beast, that you only get like 25% damage boost because of dual type. So yeah, this Trust Master Reward is good because of that. And one thing to note is this is only equipable by FFBE units, but you don't need to worry because I believe all global exclusive units probably FFBE, okay? So they are usually better than Japan, so it's good. For STMR, it is also superb. It is a must-have for her because of the insane 1000 static attack boost. However, this katana is also good for other characters who can wield katana, okay? Because of the amazing killers and 100% true double hand attack. This is probably the best two-handed katana in the game, unless the character has their own exclusive equipment like Sephiroth Masamune. And yes, for the last fishing card, it is also pretty good. It gives you 500 static attack, which is amazing. 25% killers versus all enemies type. So if you combine this vision card with her Trust Master Reward, you get 50% on all enemies type. Totally worth to make her into X+3, so you can make 2 of this card. Okay, so yep, I think that's all you need to know about Samurai Chizuru. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Final Fantasy. Perfect, see you guys. Bye bye guys.